Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, September 2nd, 2015. I am Jennifer Richardson. Just before we bring you the details to the news, we have an announcement. Viewers of SVG-TV on its Channel 7 service located at Layu Hill are asked to note that the problem being experienced on that service is being caused by interference from another television station located in Grenada. The relevant NTRC authorities have been alerted and are working to have the problem remedied. SVG-TV apologizes to its viewers for the inconvenience, which is completely beyond our control. Now for the details to the news. An agreement has been signed between the governments of Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the delimitation of the maritime boundary between both countries. The agreement establishes a single maritime boundary for a delimitation of the maritime space between Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. SVG shares maritime boundaries with Barbados, Grenada, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela. The Maritime Boundary Delimitation Agreement incorporates the spirit and principles in the revised Treaty of Basseterre, establishing the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Economic Union, and complements the OECS Eastern Caribbean Regional Ocean Policy and 3-year Strategic Action Plan, which was approved by the OECS Authority at its 50th meeting in June 2013. The delimitation of SVG's maritime boundaries with neighboring states is being undertaken with an overall framework of national ocean governance and falls squarely within Strategic Objective 1.11 of the National Economic and Social Development Plan 2013-2025, which aims to optimize the economic contribution made by ocean resources. The Commonwealth Secretariat, through the Commonwealth Fund for Technical Cooperation, has been providing support to SVG and other OECS member states since the mid-1990s for delimitation of maritime boundaries. The National Emergency Management Organization, in collaboration with the SVG Red Cross Society, earlier today launched a nationwide appeal for Dominica, which was severely impacted by the passage of Tropical Storm Erica on Thursday, August 27, 2015. The appeal, which takes the form of the collection of food items and other supplies, will end on Monday, September 7th, and the organizations are hoping that they can ship off a 40-foot container of these items to Dominica by next Wednesday. At the media launch today, Deputy Director of NEMO, Michelle Forbes, provided a synopsis of the situation in Dominica, where Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has already declared 9 disaster areas.
45% of Dominica remain without power, and there has been major disruption in the water supply. Severe impact on the road network with over 30 bridges or roads damaged. Hence, several communities were isolated, and as of yesterday, several communities were accessible via foot or four-wheel drive, and others remain inaccessible by land. 574 persons are homeless. 8 shelters are in operation with over 200 persons in shelters, and 600 persons have so far been evacuated from one of the most severely impacted community, Petite Savannah.
Forbes reminded Vincentians that over the last few years, when SVG was affected by similar disasters, our brothers and sisters in the neighboring islands came to our assistance, and it is time that we show love to the people of Dominica by contributing to the nationwide relief effort.
As I said, we have so many hundreds homeless, several hundreds in emergency shelters, and we want all Vincentians to really give what you can to assist the people of Dominica in their road to recovery. The recovery process will be long. By no means it's going to be short, it's going to be a long process. But I ask all of us to pray for the people of Dominica, that God will lift them up and take them through this difficult storm as they rebuild their nature isle and get back on their feet.
Director General of the SVG Red Cross Society, Bernard Maxman, says the items gathered from the nationwide effort will go a long way in bringing humanitarian relief to the affected citizens of Dominica.
The appeal that we are making this morning is one where we are looking for those immediate things that the Dominican public that would have suffered would require. In terms of the supplies for senior citizens, because you will recognize that the senior citizens, they are to be taken care of in a particular way. And they're looking for things like adult diapers and wipes, hand sanitizers, milks and cereals, canned foods. And when we say canned foods, we want to stress that the canned foods that we may wish to send ought not to be foods that cannot last for any period of time. In other words, let us not send expired goods or goods that are nearing expiry dates. We're looking to also for baby milk and cereal. That is for the babies, because of course the younger ones you have to take care of. Diapers and wipes, juices and snacks. When we talked about food, we were looking mainly in terms of dried foods, because of course we are going into the shelters and you need to be able to provide the type of food that will be able to last and that will not spoil. Of course, the hygienic aspect of individuals would be necessary. So in terms of toiletries, we're looking for things like soap, toilet paper, toothpaste, toothbrushes, lotions, sanitary napkins, deodorants, of course, detergents, because of course the individuals will need to have to tidy up their clothing and all of that.
Marksman, however, made it clear that clothing is not on the priority list at this time.
And not only that, but from our own standpoint, very often we have this difficulty when people offer clothing to you. And it's very distressing when people would have offered clothing that are not worthy of being worn. In addition to that, we've had the experience where individuals would have bought clothing that they might have had in a storeroom, lift them up because they want to get rid of them, dump them on us. The last time when we had that experience, we had to dump 4 garbage truckload of stuff that people bought that we could not have used. Yes, there are some decent people who would bring clothing, well washed, well ironed, folded properly, put into plastic bags and be brought. Yes, we appreciate that type of individual who would do that sort of thing. But generally speaking, too much of the clothing that we get cannot be used. In addition to that, it takes a lot of time, effort, and monies to sit and sort all of these clothing out, and still you cannot use them. We are saying, let us avoid that. The time is of the essence, and we ought not to be in a position where we have to spend all that amount of time trying to sort out clothing that cannot be used.
Persons who wish to make a donation to the relief effort of items such as canned foods, cleaning supplies, and supplies for senior citizens and babies are asked to drop them off at NEMO's office at Old Montrose, NEMO's warehouse at Camden Park near Rudy's Electrical, and at the SVG Red Cross Society's office in Kingstown. And the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, in collaboration with the Police Welfare Association, has donated food items valued over 12,000 EC dollars to Dominica. The goods were transported to Dominica by one of Barbados' Coast Guard vessels, accompanied by 4 police officers headed by Sergeant 528 Cornelius Ross, who would assist in the rehabilitation process. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Cooperative Credit Union Limited earlier today distributed bursaries and scholarships to deserving persons about to commence post-secondary studies. Today's presentation of financial assistance to locals for educational purposes was the second such gathering in less than a month by the credit union. On August 18th, the union distributed scholarships and book vouchers to successful students in the recently concluded CPEA examinations. Chief Executive Officer of the SVG-TCCU, Julian Jack, says the distribution of the scholarships is one of the activities the credit union is extremely proud of, where they can recognize the achievement of students at the primary, secondary, and post-secondary levels.
At this point in time, we have approved, the board has approved $30,000 that we'll give to those students at the bursary level. Recognize that as an organization we're making a contribution But I want to say that we will continue to make that contribution. We recognize the importance of education in development. And what we want to see is that the Vincentian population must become a literate population so that you can understand what is happening around you and how you need to address it. We don't want people to be telling you what is happening around you. Yeah, people may put things up, but you have to be able to analyze that situation for yourself and provide opportunities, not only for you, but for your relatives and for your friends and people around you, so that we can have a better community all together.
Jack reminded the scholarship recipients that education is one sure way out of poverty and a tool that will ensure development and growth.
A lot of times you must remember the mighty sparrow, who has a very strong calypso on that. Education. That is what would relieve us from our own poverty. So again, I want to congratulate all the persons who are here. We have, I think the chairman may speak two more to that. We have had very good results from those persons who could have submitted their results to us, who have made application. Quite a number of A's you see coming through. And this time, whereas in times gone by, I would have observed that the what they call them home study students, I have different name for them, but those persons who studied in St. Vincent for the last 5 years, they would have been doing very well compared to students who are in university in whether Trinidad, Jamaica, or where, right? That you would have. But this time around, I think the rates, the grades are competitive, very competitive.
The police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of Gavit Foster, 33 years, labourer of Green Hill, which occurred at Green Hill about 8 p.m. last evening. When SVG-TV News visited Green Hill today, his girlfriend Kenesha Patterson says she is trying to come to terms with Foster's death. According to the police, Foster was attacked and received several gunshot wounds about his body after he alighted a minibus on his way home. He was pronounced dead on the spot by the coroner. Trying to maintain her composure, Patterson says the death of her loved one has left her heartbroken.
I didn't too long spoke to him on the phone, matter of fact. I called him and asked him where he was, and he said he was waiting on a van to come home. And like 15 minutes after, I started hearing a whole heap of shots down the road. And then his mother started crying and said she hoped nothing wrong with none of his son. And then like a while after, we see his brother coming home crying and say Gavit just get shot and he dropped in the river. So I ran to see what happened, but he was already gone. And I feel very horrified about what happened. It was very shocking because I was at home when I heard the shots, and then when his brother came home and said that Gavit just got shot, I ran and cried. When they took him over the river, I hugged him and cried. I started shaking him, hoping that he would wake up, but he was already gone. So until now, I'm still shocked. I'm still wondering if I'm dreaming.
She remembers Foster as a caring boyfriend, while Romano Boye, cousin of the deceased, remembers him as a generous person.
He loved them and cherished them very much. He will do anything for them. Make sure they have what they need at all times. He'll go out of his way to make sure they have food, they have clothes. When school time, they have what they need. And they loved him very much. Because last night, my daughters, they cried. All this morning, they asking if Gavit really dead in truth. I have a little baby. She keep going by the door and she calling Dada, Dada, because that's what she does call him. But what we can do, he's already gone. Very hurt right now, but you have to live with it and leave it in God's hand.
He loved to share all them things there. Sometimes he come for me to go somewhere and make a little chill breeze out. Yeah, them things there.
And when you heard the news, how you feel?
I cry. I shock and all. Means every know he. Yeah, me know he. So when I hear I just cry, I move vexed, nobody could talk to me, all them things. Yeah.
Fast food outlet KFC reopened its doors at Arnisville on Sunday, the 30th August, after being closed earlier this year. With new local franchise holders as well as some new staff, customers have been flocking the Arnisville outlet daily to get a bite. When SVG-TV visited the location earlier today, franchise business manager Garfield Joseph says they are pleased to be back in operation here. Joseph, who spoke on behalf of Yum Brands, the owners of KFC, Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, says the Vincentian staff are some of the most teachable and they are happy with the appreciation shown by customers.
I'm really excited to be back in St. Vincent. As you know, the brand has been operating in St. Vincent for quite a number of years. We have had to have a closure for just a short time, but we are very excited to be back. Consumers love this brand, and you can see from the crowds that we've had since we opened up on Sunday. So we're really very excited to be back in St. Vincent. Yeah, I mean, I've been coming to this beautiful country for the last 10 years. I've been a franchise business manager with Yum Brands for 11 years. And the people here are very warm, very hospitable, very friendly, quick learners. We have a young KFC team led by Tessa and Shane, and we have rehired a number of KFC previous team members. They're sharp, smart, bright, very hospitable. They know the brand, they love the brand. So we're very happy with the team that we have operating here on the ground.
Joseph acknowledged that the demand for the product since reopening has been a bit overwhelming at times, and that they anticipate this will soon be eased when they reopen at least 2 other branches.
At the moment, we have actually hired over close to 100 persons. The idea is to reopen a second and third branch coming soon. Obviously, we have been overwhelmed by the demand for the product. As you can see, you know, people in St. Vincent, they love the great taste of KFC. So we've been challenged in terms of providing that quality of service that we desire. But the most important thing is that the product is excellent. The pricing is great value for the consumer, and yes, they're staying a little bit longer waiting for their items than we'd really want to happen, but it's because of the demand, and we are hoping that it will normalize sooner rather than later, and that the service will indeed get a lot better than we are providing it today.
Several customers express how they feel about the fast food outlet reopening.
Well, I guess the reopening is good for the people in St. Vincent because it seems like they've missed Kentucky chicken for a while. But I think they should hype up on their service, you know, because people coming from the back and coming helping people in the front. So I think that's what they should pay more attention about. Yeah.
Okay. So, but in terms of, you haven't eaten it as yet, but you're about. Okay.
Yeah, hopefully it'll taste good as it normally is. So, yeah.
You feel happy about the reopening for sure?
Yeah, I've been waiting for it open like since Carnival. So I'm very happy it's open now.
It's the people, as you can see, the people missed it a lot, and as you can see, it's very full. I've been saying some people are glad to get back KFC.
Well, I feel so happy about it because sometimes he's on the road and then nothing there to eat, so you could just pop in KFC and get something to eat. So I am so happy that it come back.
Tastes like KFC. It tastes like what KFC should taste like. Yeah.
And how you feel about the staff and so forth, and how things going on?
Well, as expected, Vincentian like things that are new. So I say the staff is doing as best as they can given the situation, the one KFC. But I'm glad that KFC is open.
Because we were missing Kentucky for quite a while now. As you could see, the turnout we got when it opened, and people still coming and coming and coming. So we welcome back KFC, and we're thankful for KFC once again.
Have you tasted it as yet?
Yeah, like 3 times already, and I'm going back again now.
And you're saying it?
It tastes real good. Real good. Finger licking good.